Alright guys, it says I'm live. Internet don't lie, so I must be live. Welcome to or welcome back. This is Dave, Hanging with Dave here at Dave's Techway. A little live show I do every weekend. I go over some, I usually go over some tech news that's coming out. And then I'll go into the Q&A, kind of a question and answers for any of the comments that came in for the past week or so. I try to do this every weekend. I've failed a few times, but just about every weekend I do it. If you guys went back and seen the one for last week, I want to apologize for that, because that one definitely didn't turn out very good, and I'm not too sure on why. But I did run a test stream this morning, and it seemed to be doing better. So yeah, with all that, apologies being out of the way, a few disclaimers. I do drink me a cold Budweiser while I do the stream. Hope that don't offend you, or if you want to, you can join in and have a nice cold one with me. Cheers to y'all. Also, I am a truck driver by trade, so every once in a while you may hear me cuss or a dirty word come out of my mouth. I try not to do that on the stream. Video ain't too bad, but having no video, I just edit it out. But when you do live, you can't always edit it out. You know, it's live. You can't go in and cut it out. Unlike last week, and I think it was the time before that when I did the live stream, it was all Q&A, which we will do those towards the end. But today we do have a few articles here. First one's going to be that AMD's actually announced a month that their 4000 desktop processor is coming out. And we also have Intel 10th Gen Comet Lake. We actually have a release date for them now too. And this comes straight from them, so, you know, so we can pretty well count on them coming out when these articles say they're coming out. And also our friends over at EVGA with the graphics card that made the 2060 KO version, they're at it again. They're coming out with an RTX 2080 and a 2070 Super, both at a KO. And they're supposed to be arriving with a budget prices. So I thought maybe you guys would be interested in me going over them articles as well. You know, they are kind of budget, so. And I'm being told that I have no sound on my video. I don't know why I don't have no sound. I don't know why I don't have no sound. I have sound on my side on the playback. I don't know why I don't have no sound. I have sound on my side on the playback. I don't know why I don't have no sound. I have sound on my side on the playback. I don't know why I don't have no sound. I have sound on my side on the playback. Technical difficulties, you gotta love them. Technical difficulties, you gotta love them. Technical difficulties, you gotta love them. Aspen Dixon, he's in the comments. He says, "Hey Dave, how you holding up, bud?" I'm holding up pretty good, bud. Can you hear me? He's in the comments. He says, "Hey Dave, how you?" Let me know if you can hear me or not, Aspen. Or Abhash. Alright, sounds good. You can hear me? Good, thank you. Yeah, my girlfriend's actually watching from work, and she said that I didn't have no sound. That's why the echo was coming through. I was trying to figure out why I didn't have no sound. All right, but if everybody can hear me, everybody's having a good day. Everybody's having a cold drink, preferably alcohol, or that's my beverage choice at least. All right, where was I? Oh yeah, I was talking about these EVGA GeForce RTX 2080, 2070 Super KOs that EVGA is coming out. They're doing the same thing with the 2080 and the 2070 Supers, just like they did the 2060s. And I figured I'd throw them in this live stream here today, because it is kind of budget, because they are a little bit cheaper than the regular ones. And I believe they actually have, yeah, they even have the price for them here, so we can compare them to what they're actually what they actually run if it ain't the KO version. So let's jump into it here. Let me get you guys switched over here. There we go. And both these articles are from Tom's Hardware. If you go down into the description, the links is down there. Go down there for the description if you guys want to read more about this. But AMD Ryzen 4000 desktop CPUs arriving in September timeframe. Basically, you know, they've been pushed back several times because of everything that's going on in the world, which I ain't gonna get into. But yeah, they're saying now that they should be released during around September sometime, which I believe is a little bit later than what they said they was going to release them. But with everything going on, you know, you can count on that. You know, I mean, if you've been looking at prices for computer components, you know, the prices have been creeping up pretty high anyways. I mean, right now ain't a very good time to be building a computer. But and also Intel 10th Gen Comet Lake desktop release date. They've also announced by the end of April the 30th, they're going to be launching the Kaby Lakes, and also motherboard deployment will report carrying out in 2 phases. The high-end Z490 motherboards are scheduled to arrive in the middle of May, while the budget-oriented H470 and the B460 motherboards won't be landing until the end of May. So in other words, you can get the processor at the end of April, but you ain't going to be able to get the motherboard until the beginning of May. And then the only thing that's going to be available for it's going to be the high end. So there may be a little bit of a wait time if you want to jump on the 10th Gen Intel chipset. Of course, you got to see what the performance is going to be like with them things. Makes me wonder. Okay, next we'll jump into the video cards here. You got the EVGA, like I said, you know, they got the RTX 2080 and the 2070 Super. Now they're going to be releasing the KO version, just like they did for the 2060. Apparently they're doing pretty good with the 2060 KO version. But of course, everybody wants that power for as little money as possible. Building on the EVGA GeForce RTX 2060 KO Ultra gaming success, EVGA is adding 2 more KO Edition graphics cards to the Turing Power Assault. The company today announced the KO gaming version of the RTX 2080 Super and the RTX 2070. The new graphics cards use EVGA aftermarket dual slot cooling solution. Yeah. You know, I mean, it's pretty well what EVGA's been doing for a while for NVIDIA cards. If you want to, I'm not going to bore you all with running down through the specs, but here's all the specs to the cards right here in this paragraph right here. I believe they're a little bit cut down from what the cards originally come with, just like they did the 2060 Super KO version. You know, I don't know. I never read through here and seen if they actually had a date for when these things was coming out. The prices of them, though, the 2080 Super KO is going to be coming out at $700, while the 2070 Super KO is going to be coming out at $500. Those are the same prices NVIDIA's Founders Edition models, but they're slightly less expensive than EVGA's other super models. So in other words, they're coming out with cards finally at the retail price that NVIDIA said they were going to be coming out at. Basically what they're doing, but they're cutting them back to be able to do that, which makes sense. I mean, you can't expect to get the full card at less of a price. I mean, yeah, now they'd be cutting their own throats by doing that, and they wouldn't stay in business. So yeah, them's the two articles I had for the day. I thought them was pretty interesting. The CPU launches, you know, they've been pushed around and pushed back and everything like that. Let me see here. RTX 2080 Super. See how much cheaper them things actually are from the other cores they got. Let's see here. 2080 Super KO is coming in at $699. Here on Newegg, EVGA is coming in at $750 for the regular 2080 Supers, non-KO version. So that's what, about $50 cheaper on them? That ain't too bad. Let's do the RTX 2070 Supers. I figure it's going to be about the same, probably $50 less than the regular ones. 2070 Super coming in at $499. Let's see, EVGA. Where's the other EVGA 2070? 2070 Super's coming in at $603, $522. The one that looks just like that, $522, and they're bringing in, that saved about $20 if you're looking at 2070 Super. So yeah, those, you know, I mean, I don't know, is it worth the $20 or $50 to get a cut back version? I don't know, I guess it'd be up to you and your budget and what else you got going on in life, but I think I'd rather spend the extra money and get the full-fledged cards than the KO versions, which I said that when they came out with the 2060 KO too. But that's just one man's opinion. We got a few comments this week, not a whole lot, but we do have a few. Let me refresh this, see if we got any new ones came in. And that don't look like it. Let's see here. Where did I leave off? Alright. There we go. I guess it helped I flip you guys around on it. There we go. Mr. Gamer, 5 days ago. He commented on how to update the BIOS on the Gigabyte B450 DS3H motherboard. If anybody watching got any comments or any questions that anyway I think I can help you out with, drop them over there in chat now. Because there's a little bit of a delay from when you guys type and when I actually hear you, or when I actually see it. But Mr. Gamer, will this work for the B450 Urus Elite? Yes, that's also a Gigabyte motherboard. It should be the same way. That's just going through the Q-Flash utility, which should be on both motherboards. That should work fine for the Urus Elite as well. Thanks for the watching and thanks for the comment. 4 days ago. Oh yeah, if I butcher you guys' name on these, sorry, I apologize. I ain't very good with the English language, let alone some of these YouTube handles, so you have to forgive me about the way I butcher your names up so bad. Lemaine Reynal, I guess, how to update the BIOS on the Gigabyte B450. I already knew how to update the BIOS, but watching the video just in case, thank you very much. Well, you're welcome very much. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope I didn't mess up too bad on it. But thanks for the watch and thanks for the comment. Hank Knuckle, guess the way you pronounce that. On Borderlands 3 27, the end of the story. That's Borderlands 3 walkthrough I've been doing, and that was finally finished the games. He gave me 3 thumbs up, so thank you, appreciate it. Glad you enjoyed it. Thanks for the watch, and thanks for leaving a comment on that. Let's see, 3 days ago, Alex Producer, how to dedicate more RAM to the Ryzen integrated graphics on the Gigabyte B450M DS3H. Really appreciate you, man. I really appreciate you watching and leaving a comment on the video. Thank you. Let's see here. Morno, he commented on how to disable the onboard graphics on the Gigabyte B450M DS3H motherboard. Hello Dave, my CPU is the i3-8100, which comes with an iGPU, but I can't find the option to disable it. Is it integrated internal graphics? Excuse me, guys. Yeah, that's a Intel chip. So you're running an Intel-based system. Intel-based systems, they use different phrasing for the words inside the BIOS. I mean, that even varies from motherboard to motherboard. So yeah, it's probably with the depending on the model of your motherboard, it may be under that setting there, internal graphics. That is your iGPU. That's what iGPU stands for. Integrated graphics processing units, what the iGPU stands for. So yeah, it would be under the internal graphics on your motherboard, depending on the motherboard you got. Like I said, you know, Intel, AMD, and it even varies from motherboard manufacturer to motherboard manufacturer. What the difference is, you know, different companies list as different things, but yeah, that is internal graphics. That's what you need to be looking at to disable yours on an Intel system. But thanks for watching and thanks for the comment. Let's see here. Warlet Jack, 2 days ago, how to update the Asus BIOS, Asus Prime X470 Pro. Hey, don't you need an existing CPU on board to update to 3000 series Ryzen? I believe the X470 Pro doesn't have the Easy Flash option. Yeah, you would need, to update that BIOS, you do need a 1000 or 2000 series processor to be able to update it to run your 3000 processor. Just like you have to on the Gigabyte B450 motherboards, because that don't have the Easy Flash option on the back of the motherboard. So yeah, you would have to have an older CPU to update it. You just can't put in a 3000 series processor and expect it to run. I thought I mentioned that in that video. Maybe I didn't. But thank you for watching and thank you for the comment. David Lucaton, that was on my $1,100 gaming, streaming, and video editing PC. What parts make up my PC? He says, thank you so much for this video. Thumbs up for the good work. You're welcome. I typed back to you and told you what my system was made of. I figured, well, if you's questioning it, maybe somebody else was, so I'd put a video out about it. So yeah, you're welcome, David, and I'm glad you enjoyed it. Ryan Johnson, it was on the same video, says, love your content. Well, thank you. I'm glad you enjoy my content, and I hope you learn a little bit of something about it, or whatever you're looking for, at least a little bit of entertainment. But thanks for watching and thanks for the comment. The next one we got here is Mixed World of Entertainment. The Gigabyte B450 DS3H motherboard BIOS. Did I brick my motherboard? Is this motherboard good for the Ryzen 5 2600 for streaming and gaming purposes? Yeah, it is. the Gigabyte B450 is fine for streaming and for gaming. I used it for both for several months. I actually still have it over there in the test bench. But yeah, it does good for the streaming aspect and the gaming aspect of it. It being a budget motherboard, the overclocking's very very little on it. I'll put it that way. Just because it is a budget motherboard, so I mean, if you're looking to manual overclock, which with my experience with overclocking here lately, there ain't much reason to overclock on Ryzen, because usually you can't manually overclock them more than what they'll boost up to on all cores by themselves. But yeah, that like I said, I was streaming on that PC. I did my video editing on that motherboard with 2400. I did my gaming. I had no problems, no issues with it. The only reason I really upgraded from that motherboard was for more content on the channel and to try my hand at overclocking on X470, see if I get anything better out of my 2700. But yeah, that's a good little stable motherboard for streaming and gaming purposes. As long as it's got everything that you need, One thing to point out on that Gigabyte B450 motherboard, which may be a deal breaker for some people, but you can always use a splitter. And there's only one fan header on that motherboard. So that's something to keep in mind. Someone's brought that up to my attention before too. There's only, they didn't know it only had one fan header on it. But thanks for watching and thanks for the video. Thanks for the video. Thanks for watching and thanks for the comment. Sounds like I need another beer, huh? Hi. Someone came through in chat and said hi. Well, hi back. I can't even begin to read your name, but hi. I'm glad to see you. Glad you came by and hanging out with me today. Alright, this next name now, I know I'm going to butcher this one. Zamal Savaki. I guess that was on the $1,100 gaming, streaming, and video editing PC. What ports make up my PC? He says, nice work and keep going. Well, thank you. I plan on keeping going. Don't plan on turning back now. But thanks for watching and thanks for the comment there. Let's see here. Muhammad Raiz, I guess the way you pronounce that. How to overclock the Ryzen 5 2400G Gigabyte B450M SDH3H port 3. Dude, you're using stock cooler after overclocking. Yes, I was. After overclocking on that motherboard, the power delivery couldn't really push enough power to the CPU to heat it up with a heat sink wasn't really handling it. I had a Hyper T4 on the side. I also got a Hyper 212 back there I could throw on if I needed to. But I had other limitations before the heat would kick in. So yeah, I was overclocking with the heatsink. I had no problem overclocking with that heatsink for no further than what that motherboard could push my CPU. So yeah, I was using a stock heatsink. And that's the thing, everybody thinks that, you can't overclock on the stock heat sinks and this and that. These AMD heat sinks that they're sending out with these processors they're some of the best stock heat sinks I've seen. Their old ones wouldn't compare to it. Intel's won't match them as far as keeping your CPU cool. And, you don't always have to go with exotic cooling or a liquid cooler or a big old air tower to be able to overclock your system. If you're gonna buy something like that and put it on anyways, that's fine. But if you're gonna actually get into overclocking your system, try it with the stock heatsink. Make sure that system's you're gonna be able to push that CPU to the limits that the stock heatsink can't handle before you have to go out and buy another heatsink. Because you got a lot of other limitations in there that could be holding your CPU back. Whenever I did that video, I also threw the 2700 in that motherboard. And because of the VRMs on it, it can't push the processor hard enough to where the heat's going to be the holdback on it. The power delivery was the holdback on it. So, if you spend $100 on a heat sink, a tire heat sink or a liquid cooler, it wouldn't have done a bit of good for the overclocking on it, because the heat wasn't the stopping factor. It was the fact that it couldn't push no more power to the CPU to be able to overclock any higher. But yeah, I was using stock cooler after overclocking, because that wasn't the point that was holding me back. If I had got into overclocking with the stock heatsink, and it would have been temperature related, then I could have went in and maybe put a higher end cooler on it to get a better overclock out of it. But it wasn't the temperature that was holding me back. It was the power delivery of the motherboard. But thanks for watching, and thanks for the comment. Let's see here. Pro Gamer 1. How to overclock the Ryzen 5 2400G on the Gigabyte B450M DS3H. Hello, I have a problem with the GPU low usage in GTA 5 and Call of Duty Warzone. How can I fix it? Well, I need to know a little bit more about your system. I need to know, if your CPU's hitting high levels and your GPU saying staying low, that means you're going to have your CPU's holding back your GPU. I mean, without knowing the specs of the system or anything like that, not knowing what kind of graphics you're running. You're running 1080p at 144 hertz, or you're running 420p at 30 hertz, or depending on the game settings. I go in and check your game settings first, because it's going to be no money to do that. Just go in and make sure you're in whatever you want to run at, 1440p, 4K, 1080p, whatever. Make sure your settings are set up right. I'd need a lot more information on that to even give you a suggestion on how to fix that. But thanks for watching, and thanks for the comment. Let's see here. Aspen Dixon. You quarantined too? Or chipset temperatures of 49 to 50 degrees okay with ambient temperatures of 33°C on the DS3H? Yeah, that's fine for your chipset temperatures. Yeah, 49 to 50 degrees, that's fine. As long as you're talking chipsets, yeah, that shouldn't be holding you back much. You may want to put an extra fan in your case to try to get them down a little bit. But rather than that, I think I'll be doing alright. I mean, I've never really watched my chipset temperatures, but yeah, 49 to 50 degrees C should be alright with that. Are you quarantined too? Yeah, I am. Actually, this whole week I've been actually sitting at home. Let me get back to this. There we go. Yeah, I am quarantined pretty much. Last week was my last week of work. They gave us a furlough, which means it's temporary layoff until all this stuff settles. We could have took it, or I could have stayed working, but pretty well, I drive truck. I drive truck in the parking lot, basically. I put the trailers in and out of the doors of the warehouse. We pretty well finished up all the freight that needed unloaded and everything like that. There wasn't a whole lot of stores that was being loaded to be sent out, so there wasn't a whole lot of work in the yard to do. I got bad legs, so I can't do a lot of the jobs that's inside of the warehouse. So yeah, I took the temporary layoff. They're saying that I should be back to work on the 27th of this month, which would have been about 3 weeks. But it's a nice little vacation. But yeah, other than that, for this past week, I think I went out of the house maybe twice, which I'm fine with that. I'm an invert. I like staying home. I'd rather stay home than go out. Just the way I am. That's who I am. Yeah, but I think at this point, I think pretty well everybody's pretty well isolated. But that's going to pretty well wrap it up for the Q&A here, I believe. I don't think I got anything came in the last few minutes. Nope, I haven't got nothing. A little bit of update on the channel. We're growing pretty good here on the channel. The community's growing a good bit. We're up to 343 subscribers. So it's people, of course, everybody's sitting at home watching YouTube videos. So maybe that has something to do with the growth of the channel. I mean, the last time I reported on that, I've gained 43. I think it's about 43 subscribers in the last 2 weeks, I believe. That's pretty good growth, I guess. Last 7 days for the subscriber growth, I got 16 new subscribers to the channel in the last week. That's pretty good. I can deal with that. Since I am quarantined and I'm not working, I do have quite a few extra tech videos coming out. I finished Borderlands 3 walkthrough. I don't know if I'm going to get into another game or not, or if I'm going to continue with that game, because I do enjoy the game. I'm not too sure on what I'm going to do with that. It didn't bring in as many new people to the channel as what I thought. But then again, it also gets me into the point to where I'm actually enjoying playing games again. It actually gives me a reason to play a game. Let's see here. Aspen Dixon, be safe. Looks pretty bad in the U.S. Yes, sir, it is. It's that thing's pretty well wiping out a lot of the bigger cities. I'm kind of lucky. I live in a smaller town. I live outside of a smaller town, actually. So we're one of the better. I live in the state of West Virginia. We're one of the smaller states, and we kind of stay isolated as it is anyways. We don't have the real big towns and whatnot like most of the states do, so it ain't quite as bad in the area that I'm living in. We do have a few towns around that considered hot spots for it and whatnot. But I don't like leaving the house anyways. Like I said, I'm not working right now, so I'm happy sitting here at the house. I got a lot of stuff to do, This week alone, I've already built a porch for the house. I've did some work on the underpinning around the place. I've been getting caught up on a lot of stuff around the house that I normally don't have time to do. So, yeah, I mean, it's working out pretty good for me. I mean, I'm looking at the best that I can in a bad time, making the best of it. It's like the old saying, they give you lemons, you make lemonade, right? Of course, my unemployment, I've heard that they're like 2 or 3 weeks behind on processing unemployment claims. So I'll probably be back to work and making money by the time I see my first unemployment check. But it is what it is, And you be safe out there too, wherever you're from, Aspen. Or Abash, I guess is the way you pronounce that. You haven't yelled at me too bad for the way I pronounce your name, so I must be saying it halfway correct. I do have quite a few tech videos lined up to be coming out. I got one that's, of course, you've seen the one that I've already put out on my system. I've already put that one out. I've got another system that I'm actually going to be building. I'm going to be using the parts that I pulled out of my system to build a secondary system to use. Which, I'm using the same parts you've already seen on the channel pretty much, but I'm going to kind of set it up in the corner for kind of use it as the NAS pretty much, for this place to keep the YouTube files and whatnot for the videos. And they won't use it for the I ain't going to use it for the editing, but I'm going to use it for the rendering. Once they get the videos cut down, put together and whatnot, I'm going to save them onto a flash drive, put them on that system, let it do the rendering. I've ran into problems where I've tried rendering videos on my main system, then I can't, it pretty well renders my system useless. You know, I can't use it for much. So I'm going to kind of use it as a rendering station, plus a NAS. You know, it's going to be, I'm going to put some decent sized drives in it and leave it set over there. That's where I'm going to keep most of my files at. So I've got that build coming up. Also working on a couple of videos this morning. One was about my setup. I haven't put out anything about my setup, which I've done some this past week. I've done a little bit of improving on my setup, which next week's video is about the dual monitor stand that came in. It should be coming up. I done did the video on the new monitor I got in. I believe I did, yeah. I've already released that. That was the ViewSonic VA 2759 SMH. The unboxing overview of it. That's the new monitor I got. Which the other day I was sitting in here and the other day, my window opened and blew my little monitor off from my box and busted my monitor, so I needed another monitor anyways. I didn't want to have to replace another monitor, so I bought me a monitor stand. I went with a second 27-inch monitor. That way I could, you know, I'm getting old, guys. The bigger them screens are, the more I can do. And that was part of what happened last week with the live stream. Because of the way my setup was, you know, I kept, once the stream started, I memorized OBS, threw it down in the tray and never looked at it. Couldn't tell what was going on with it. Now with two 27-inch monitors, I got the real estate of the screens that I can keep it up and I can actually monitor and make sure everything's going good within the stream. So yeah, there's that coming up. And I was working on one today, kind of just going over the gear that I use, you know, my webcam, my other cam that I use, the microphones that I use, you know, the gear that I've got for making YouTube. I don't know, I'm kind of pulling stuff out of my head to try to get content made. I'm kind of, right now with the way prices is, you know, even used computer parts right now, you know, you go on eBay and look up processors or GPUs, everything's through the roof right now. You know, and I know it's because of what's going on, you know, so to actually get parts coming in to make a build to even sell, it ain't gonna be worth it, you know. Even Amazon, I actually canceled my Amazon Prime account because they don't even offer 2-day shipping anymore because of everything that's going on. You know, that stand and the monitor order from Amazon, you know, I suppose it had 2-day shipping on it, and it took like 4 or 5 days to get in. You know, it's just this stuff's got everything messed up in the country and in the world. So yeah, it's pretty bad right now. So there ain't no sense in me trying to get new ports in for builds or even trying to get used ports. So, you know, I'm trying to pull content out of my butt with whatever I got here laying around that I can make content on. Ashton Dixon, how did you break your monitor? The monitor I was using was an ONN. It was a 21.5-inch monitor. And the video ain't out yet, but there, since I like you all so well, I'll give you a little peek show here. Hold on a second. Let me get it pulled up here. There it is. Here's the way my setup used to look. There we go. That's the way my system used to look. And the monitor that broke was actually the monitor right here that was setting up on the new egg box. But it was a little bit bigger than this monitor, and it was setting up, you know, higher in that window. I had the window open. A big old breeze came through and blew it over, and it busted the screen on it. Yeah, I figured the cats or the dog or something, or myself, would have knocked it over before the wind would have knocked it off the box. But you know, it is what it is. You know, it was an awful light monitor. It wasn't a very old monitor, 1080p, 60 frames. You know, 60 hertz monitor. But it was just real light. It was just a real light monitor, and it was setting up on that box. And whenever the wind blew through the window, and it caught the back of it, and it just flopped it over, busted it. So that was happened a week and a half ago, or something like that, I guess. But that is just kind of a breakdown on what you can look forward to here on the channel. Like I said, you know, get new ports in, or ordering stuff offline right now. Even using eBay, there really ain't no deals out there to find on computer components. If you've seen the video I put out, $1,100 gaming, streaming, and video editing PC, what ports is in my PC video. The Ryzen 7 2700 right now, the best PC port picker to find it at, it's $240 some. You can only pick them things up for $150 all day long, brand new. I actually picked mine up for $140 on Black Friday. But you know, it just kind of shows you the inflation that's on computer components right now. I've said before that, you know, I was wanting to get a 2070 Super for my rig for the graphics card, and because of the price increase on them, and now that I'm out of work, you know, it just ain't gonna be possible. Ashburn Dixon. Oh, I thought it was the curved one. Nah, I bought that curved one. You're talking about the Samsung curved monitor. I actually bought that one. It's been a while back. I bought that for my girlfriend for a Christmas present for her setup. Yeah, the 27-inch Samsung curved monitor. That one I bought for my girlfriend. That wasn't one for me. If you look at the video, look at the picture on the screen of it there towards the end after I got it set up. Yeah, that's my girlfriend's monitor. That ain't mine. Using two monitors, it's kind of hard to have a curved or to have two curved because it puts too much of a curve on them when they're sitting in front of you. So yeah, I try to stick with the flat monitors. I really ain't into the curve because I use a dual monitor setup. Yeah, but like I said, you know, that 2070 Super has been held off. I'd like to buy one for my rig. But you know, with the way finances is, the way the amount of work right now, and the way the prices on most computer components have shot up, I'm gonna hold off on that one. So yeah, but I think it's gonna pretty well wrap it up for the day. If anybody else in the chat's got anything else to ask or any other comments, I did the comments. You know, if you have any suggestions for any kind of videos you'd like to see me do, throw them in chat, throw them in the comments below, and I'll do my best to get them done for you. I got time. You know, I'm picking my brain trying to come up with new content for the channel. You know, any of the videos you see me put out on my system, or my setup that's going to be coming out, or the gear that I use for YouTube or whatever. If there's something in one of them videos that catches your eye and you want to see more information on it, let me know. I'll be more than willing to make a video on it. But that's going to pretty well wrap it up for the day. I got quite a few more Budweisers to go through for the day. I got a little over an hour before my girlfriend gets home, so yeah, there's that as well. But with all that being said, if you like this, make sure you give me thumbs up. If not, give me thumbs down. There's that comment section. I'll go through them next weekend when I do the live stream. And if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn that notification bell on. That way you'll notified next time I go live or I put out a video here on YouTube. And with all that being said, you all enjoy this wonderful weekend. Stay safe out there with everything that's going on. And I'll see you in the next video or live stream.